Under Section 14 of the Public Order Act 1986, a druid performing a summer solstice ceremony at Stonehenge, along with about 40 other people, was arrested for trespassing. The case reached the European Court of Human Rights, which, in its Pendragon versus United Kingdom, deliberated that while the arrest interfered with the applicant's right to freedom of peaceful assembly, such interference was justified as pursuing a legitimate aim and being necessary in a democratic society. The arrest and order to stop the ceremony was deemed necessary and proportionate in view of previous assurances of public order in Stonehenge, albeit not by the same applicant who had been performing druidic ceremonies without causing any issue for the past 7 years. Stonehenge is a hyper object. We all want it to mean something. Stonehenge, we wanted to be part of something for different reasons. There's a heel stone just outside in the far perimeter. And then there's a line. We want this line to be there. We want narratives, we create them. We want law, we create it. We want narratives, the law creates us. I want to reread and rewrite this case as a stuttering. I'm going to stutter through some of the aspects of critical environmental law, the way I'm trying to envisage what law could be. Critical environmental law as part of assemblage that folds itself between different bodies, that's constantly becoming other. Critical environmental law knows that there's no higher ground from which to judge and does not succumb to this falsifying logic of either or, good or evil, friend or enemy. Walt Whitman, as the sun falling around a helpless thing. 4 elements. Critical environmental law ontologized. My belief at this stage is that there is still a strong desire on the part of many New Age travelers and others to establish festival sites on vulnerable pieces of land, and in particular on the symbolic Stonehenge monument site at the time of the summer solstice. Can we afford to carry on allowing Eurocentric, capitalist, neoliberal, market-originating epistemological tools to determine what to take as ontological truth? Let's move away from the phenomenology of harm. Let's look into this, the ontology of strict liability. It's a human fossilization process. It's a return to the earth as the a priori agent. Critical environmental law as material. Under Section 14A of the Act, it was impossible to make an order prohibiting only those intent on trouble or those with non-peaceful intentions from Stonehenge. It was impossible to make an order prohibiting only those intent on trouble. So law, not just logic-centric, but as a material body. Law as part of the continuum. Law as whiteness. Stonehenge as whiteness. Stonehenge as rural. Stonehenge as I belong. I'm a Celt. I sing. Critical environmental law is mineralized. The modern Druid orders have been constructing rituals that are favored by academics as possibly having been performed by the builders of Stonehenge since the beginning of the century. These reconstructed rituals have taken place continuously for approximately the last 100 years at Stonehenge, prior to such assemblies being forbidden in the late 1980s. Human as assemblage without counters. Non-human assemblages where the biological, animals and plants, but not the human prevails. Inhuman assemblages where the mineral prevails. The exogenous histories of those who built and left their mark in the Stonehenge landscape provide an important counterpoint to nationalistic fictions of a continuous, of sui generis, autochthonic culture. Finally, critical environmental law as situated. On 21st of June 1995, at 11 minutes past midnight, the applicant was arrested outside the Stonehenge perimeter fence in the proximity of the Heel Stone, which was within the 4-mile exclusion zone. There were in excess of 20 people at the service being held by the applicant, who was in full ceremonial dress. Critical environmental law is situated. Earth as a primary agent, strict liability as ontology, harm as phenomenology, context. So the case opens up the pulse, the breath, the space public, the space liturgical, the space of the body, and the space of the actual case. We're approaching something like a planetary justice. Thank you.